A lot of shit.
We hebben hier weer 3 mooie stukken drooggerijpt vlees en we gaan samen even kijken hoe het ervoor staat. Ik heb deze stukken een maand geleden gekocht bij Eerlijk Eten. Ik heb ze ingezout en vervolgens in de droogrijpkast geplaatst. We hebben een tomahawk, een côte de veau en een stuk staartstuk. Zoals je ziet is het vlees behoorlijk donker en dat komt omdat ik de vochtigheid van de droogrijpkast wat lager heb gezet. Wil je het vlees nou gaan bakken, dan is het verstandig om een iets hogere vochtigheid te gebruiken. Dit vlees is feitelijk als vleeswaren. Je kan het gewoon al zo opeten, eventjes aansnijden. En dat gaan we nu ook even doen om het vlees beter te beoordelen. Het ziet er prachtig uit, een mooie rode kleur van binnen, eigenlijk van alle 3 de stukken. En de warme erin komt ook mooi tot zijn recht. Het verzenden wat ik ook...
What if discipline isn't the problem? It never was. What if it's the explanation that's been keeping you stuck? Most people assume that if the results aren't happening, it must be a discipline issue. Not consistent enough, not strict enough, not committed enough, keto harder, fast longer. In this video, I want to challenge that assumption because what looks like a discipline problem is often something much deeper.
Did you know your body knows exactly what to do when you give it real food? Listen. Listen. They told you more pills, more plans, more rules, but your cell's been waiting on simpler fuel. Not another promise, not another trend, just what the body remembers again. Did you know the noise fades out when inflammation drops? Did you know the body heals when the inputs stop? Did you know your body can feel this good? Did you know real food changes the mood? No crash, no fog, no fight to get through. Did you know your body remembers you? Autoimmune isn't weakness inside. It's signal ignored for too much time. When the load gets lighter, the system can't breathe and the body starts working quietly. Did you know chronic stress feeds on chronic inflammation? Did you know nutrition is information? Oh, energy doesn't need sugar highs. Did you know clarity comes when the noise dies? Simple inputs, honest view. Did you know your body's smarter than rules? Less ingredients, more awareness, more strength, less confusion. Did you know healing doesn't have to hurt? Did you know from the root. No magic fix, just truth that grew. Did you know your body's been waiting for you? This isn't a vice, it's an invitation. See for yourself.
Another year is gone, but another year is here. We have a lot to talk about today. There is some craziness going on in the carnivore space. Apparently now, meat and fat are glycating. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about what happened last year, what's happening this year. We're minus a Peter, added a Byron. We're going to get into all that stuff. Mark's back from holidays. We're excited right after this.
Is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking...
I can't even look at a carbohydrate.
Now that I think about it, we probably would.
You know, that it doesn't make sense.
I was tired of the guessing games, faking health, playing diet names, low fat life, vegan soul, but deep inside I didn't feel whole. Then came fire, then came fat, steak on the plate, I bounced right back. No more crashing, no more drag.
You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion.
Looking forward to talking about this recent controversy. I've already been doing it for over 2 weeks now.
Your fiber intake is fucking zero.
There is a constant in the calculation.
It is the most toxic fucking diet I have ever seen. Ever. It's not healthy. It is far from fucking healthy. Okay? It is the least fucking healthiest thing you can ever do for yourself.
Well, boys, welcome in to the Meat of the Matter podcast. We are live every Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands. Peter, last minute, he was busy. He wasn't going to make it. So we asked Byron to come in. He is the man behind our music. We love it. Byron, thank you for being here. Thanks for helping us out with all the music, man. It really drives the stuff along. Mark is back. He's had a big holiday. We're going to hear all about it. And yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome into 2026. I can't believe that the year's gone by. We've been doing this for 1 year, Mark. I think
Amazing, isn't it?
1 year.
Amazing.
So we do appreciate all the people that are joining us. Hello, everybody. And yeah, I'm excited about this year. But firstly, Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, sir. Happy New Year to both of you.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
So let's talk about your holiday, buddy. How was it over Christmas?
The holiday was fantastic. We have a lot to talk about, the obesity crisis over there and Ozempic and all that crap. But yeah, the holiday was amazing. It just flew in too quickly. I did pretty much every single day. I was busy. You guys know me. I don't like to sit around. I like to be active. I was literally, I think I was doing around maybe 35, maybe 50,000 steps a day. People were saying to me, were your feet not sore? And I was like, no. I was like, no, I was loving it. I was in the parks literally at 9 a.m. first thing in the morning, and I wasn't leaving till around 10 p.m. at nighttime.
Nice.
So I was there. Oh, it was amazing. Amazing. The heat over there was very, very nice. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. I think it was around 70s or something like that, 70s or 80s. So it's quite warm. But yeah, it's amazing. I love going this time of year.
And I have to ask, brother, how hard was it to be a carnivore? I noticed you flicking off the broccolis and mushrooms there. So
yeah. Like the one thing I like about America, you guys know how to make steaks. I mean, when I was in Walmart, I couldn't get over the thickness of the steaks. It's unbelievable. Like, you're talking about that thick, and I was like, I was in my element. I was like, I was buying all this. I tell you one thing though, the price of steaks in your country is incredible.
Well, it's not my country yet.
And it's, oh my God. Like, I was talking to Victoria about this during the week. Like, a pound of steak I was looking at nearly $100, probably more.
Wow.
It was unbelievably expensive.
Yeah. They don't make it easy, especially up in Canada. It's even worse, man. It's like, it's
really, 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 really expensive.
Yeah.
And you look at where they're going wrong, especially with the processed food. It's so cheap to buy over there, so cheap.
Yeah. And but before we get back to that, we'll talk a little bit about that, what you observed as far as the obesity goes. But Byron, how was your holidays? How's things, and what can we expect from Carnivore Beats in 2026?
Holidays were okay. They were good, but they were okay. Just because obviously I ate a bit of things that I don't normally eat, and you feel the consequence of it. And it's glad it's all done and sorted. But even on Christmas Day, it's like I made sure 90% of my plate was meat, so it wasn't too bad. But even that little bit, you still feel. So you definitely know that eating meat is just absolutely a beautiful thing.
What about yourself, Tony? Did you have a good holiday?
I did, man. I did. Fleur and I had a nice quiet time. We made a giant tenderloin, wrapped it in bacon weave for our Christmas dinner. That was pretty good. I did a couple things that I probably shouldn't have done, but you know what? It's that time. But I mean, not really any big things. But it's easy to eat meat. People give that excuse. What do I eat at Christmas dinner? Look at the size of your fucking turkey, man. Eat it. So we did not have turkey, but we had a beautiful tenderloin. I don't really I don't usually eat those because they're so lean. They're not a lot of fat, but the bacon weave really helped it. So we've had some hollandaise, and I'm handing in my carnivore card for the meal. We actually had some asparagus for my friend who joined us for dinner. So we had to give him a little bit of greenery, but it was good. It was delicious, and we enjoyed our time. And yeah, other than that, it was just trying to get focused and back. Like I sort of took a time out. I think we all kind of did, of social media, trying to stay sort of on it anyway. And, kind of did trying to do a bit of a rebrand with my business and trying to stay, trying to help as many people as I can this year to, come to this side of things on their own, as opposed to forcing carnivore down people's necks. I think it's time that we specifically in the carnivore community, we all know, and we're here. We'll get into that as well, because I want to touch on that, because it seems to be, this is World Carnivore Month, and there's a lot of people that are sort of against it now. They're like absolutely jump ship. And we're gonna show a video, Mark, that you sent me. It's just craziness. And I think this is the thing, is I think we have to get past carnivore, to be brutally honest. I think we have to get into what a proper human diet looks like. And if you don't know what that is, you're going to end up like the people Mark saw in the US, man, because it's not on our side. All this shit is stacked against us. And I think now is the time, especially Byron and I were talking a little bit before we went on, and, we don't know what's coming next. And I would encourage everybody to try and be as healthy as they can, which in whatever way possible, because
100%. I mean, I was speaking to a few people. Sorry, Byron. I was speaking to a few people in the gym. I was in Gold's gym, and they were all talking about their diet. And I spoke to a few bodybuilders, and they were saying the best way to become insulin sensitive is to build muscle. And I was like, yeah, that works. That's what everybody knows. But surely you have to get the diet right. And they were like, okay, well, my diet is right. And I'm like, oh well. And I was looking at them. I mean, this guy was drinking like a dextrose drink during his workout. And I was like, listen, like, you have no idea what this shit is. You've no idea what you're doing to your body. Like, you've been brainwashed into thinking that you become insulin sensitive by just lifting weights and you add more muscle. But you can become insulin sensitive by just removing the carbohydrates in the first place. And he was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? We need carbohydrates to replenish glycogen and all this rubbish. And I was like, no, your body can do this through gluconeogenesis. Like, have you never heard of this word? You never heard of it. Yeah. You never heard of gluconeogenesis. And I was like, listen, I'm literally 20 minutes into my workout here. I don't have time to have this conversation. But it's amazing how so many people in the world are not aware of this.
Yeah.
They're absolutely convinced that carbohydrates is the go-to.
But that's because it's all that literature has been pumped by especially the people that are making the supplements as well. They're also part of the equation, because at the end of the day, they have to sell supplements to hit their targets. Whether the supplements work or not, it's a different story. And how many times with the laboratory issues that have happened with supplements over the years, and even people who take protein shakes, if you're not getting your kidneys and blood tests done every few months, you unfortunately could be in a place where you could be having to be hospitalized because
Do you know what?
I met a bodybuilder who almost died and still went back into bodybuilding afterwards, but obviously changed his ways and became close friends with other doctors. And he suffered with kidney issues and all that because of the stuff that was in the protein shakes that don't get found all the time from the laboratories. And the guys throw them back.
Especially having 6 a day, right?
Yeah,
exactly. They throw them back, and then never mind that your gases just don't smell right to you.
No. And I'll tell you one thing. I put a video. I don't know if you guys seen it over the holiday period. I put a video up of me. I was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I put a bit of salt into my water. I don't know if you've seen that. And I just used it as a pre-workout.
Yeah.
And I got ridiculed on social media. And I mean, I got ridiculed. People are coming on to me saying, you can't be doing this. This is going to lead to high blood pressure. And I was like, holy shit. Like, this is unbelievable. Honest to God, I was getting people coming on to my stories and saying, listen, this is false information. This is going to lead to high blood pressure. And I can guarantee you're going into the bleeding gym. You're drinking these caffeine drinks and you're worried about me putting a bit of salt into my water.
Yeah, no doubt. You know,
honestly, it was unbelievable. Ridiculed.
When people say that kind of shit, it's like, where did the saying "the salt of the earth" come from? Why do we call it a salary? Because we used to get paid in salt because it was vital to our survival. It's like, this is so crazy how they, it's,
and they still never ever twig on when you go into the hospital with high blood pressure. What are they giving you?
So saline, they jack you into it. If you have a heart attack, the ambulance shows up. They pump you in with a super saturated saline solution.
Now you go and ask everybody. Okay, when you go into the hospital with high blood pressure, what do they give you? And everybody's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I know. I know. It's crazy. It's mental. It really is.
That
unbelievable.
But you know what you said something there too, Mark, is like, what I don't understand about all these people jumping ship, and we'll probably play the video. I think we'll get into it a little earlier than I expected, but when you're talking about somebody who's a high performance athlete or somebody who is very, very healthy metabolically, and they're talking about carbohydrates in a sense, like maybe using it as a tool. Okay, that aside, when these people are preaching that it's not bad, like what we'll get into, you're going to go into a diet that healed you. And now you're going to go back to making it okay for the diet that caused the damage. We're talking people with serious metabolic issues, serious autoimmune issues. The thing that got you there now is, and that's what I don't understand about these influencers talking about how all of a sudden all this shit is bad. And it's frightening because they're missing the whole point.
But I'm hearing this from carnivores in this space. People are saying that you're using carnivore because it's good for healing.
Yeah.
But that's all they're talking about. It's good for healing. But when you want to get in shape, you can, once you become insulin sensitive, your body becomes healed, then you're allowed to add the carbohydrates back in. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, why are you giving out this information? We know carbohydrates, you can, from a body composition standpoint, we know you can look a certain way. Like I've always said it, I'm very, very lean at the moment. I'm probably walking around with about 10% body fat at the moment. If I added in carbohydrates now, I would look a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I would, my muscles would be a lot fuller. I'd be a lot bigger. That's not what I'm looking for now.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about my ego. I don't give a shit how I look. I just want to be healthy. I want to feel good. I want to have loads of energy. Like people were saying to me over the Christmas period, did you not have a small bit of temptation? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like I felt great. I felt great over the Christmas period. Like I know what it feels like to add these carbohydrates back in, because I've experimented in the past. I'm not going through that all that shit again.
Because then you keep wanting more and more.
Exactly, and that addiction is always going to be there. Whereas for me,
if it isn't there now, that whole thing about, it just gives you an excuse to do it again and again.
100%.
That's why
100%.
when I actually cheat, you'll say, I enjoy it. This is not good. I do not make any excuses in my mind to say that this is okay. I say, this is my selfish joy. I'm going to enjoy this. But then I become the observer. If I start getting hungry, if I start to, and it happens like within, I have some ice cream from time to time. I eat ice cream. The next day, something is different always. And if I'm not on the sort of like, holy shit, and I'm kind of in tune to my body, this would lead somebody who doesn't know this right down that road. And it's pretty clear, you know, and that's what, when I'm teaching and coaching people as well, is you need to figure out your body, because everybody's a little different, but it's not essential. These are not required. And I don't know about you, Mark, but I'm back in the gym now because of you and Lisa inspired me. So I've been getting back into the gym. I don't even notice. My energy is great. My energy is, if anything, my energy is better than my physical levels. It's unreal how I don't need carbohydrates. I don't need sugar, and it's not even a question for me. I'm not at the level where I would even have to play around with it because I just feel good.
100%. Yeah. For me, is like, people always say to me, like, what are you going to change this year? I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to keep doing the same thing that's helping me over the years. I'm just going to get better every year.
Yeah.
Every year I'm just going to get better. I know I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger in the gym. I'm getting bigger. I can do all of this in the absence of carbohydrates. I don't need any carbohydrates in order for me to grow muscle. Like, if I'm at a stage in my life now where I'm the same as you, Tony, I'm in my 50s. If I'm only gaining around 2 or 3 pounds of muscle a year, I don't care. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
As we get older, like you gotta weigh out. Like, I mean, I firm believing we should be moving fast and lifting heavy once in a while. That's great at minimum. But I mean, I'm more concerned about how I feel and my mobility, and I don't give a shit about well, I obviously care about how I look because it reflects how I feel, but it's not about vanity. It's more about functionality in my life. I want to be able to move. I want to be
100%. And Linda will tell you this, my partner. Literally, when I was up every morning. Like, my circadian rhythm is dialed in no matter what country I'm in. I was waking up by like 3:30. I was ready to go. But the minute Linda woke up, I was like, listen, just have a shower, get your runners on, let's just get out. I was like, we're on holidays here, let's just get out. I didn't want to be in the room. I didn't want to be in the hotel. I just wanted to get out. I wanted to see the parts of the country. I wanted to go to the parks, and I'm talking about the whole day.
Yeah.
I honestly, guys, I had so much energy. It was unbelievable. So much energy. And I was eating, I said this to people, I was eating around 4 or 5 pounds of meat a day. Probably more because of the activity. I was burning up, I was using up so much energy. I was moving a lot. So again, I was about 50,000 steps a day. No word of a lie.
Yeah.
I was moving a lot. So my expenditure was very, very high. So I had to eat a lot of food. And believe me, I was eating a lot of food.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and I mean, that's just proof there. I mean, I don't know what some of these guys do. Like, even Paul Saladino was strict carnivore, arguably for a year. I don't think that's enough time, especially in like, now that I'm going on to 6 years eating this way, and I have no, like, if I have some kind of feel like imbalance or something's going on in my body, I look at my minerals instantly. Like, that's the first thing I look at is I look at my electrolytes. I look at the trace minerals that could be possibly. And that's the one thing I think in this, like, a perfect carnivore diet in a perfect human environment, we have to take in consideration that they're messing with us and our environment and our chemicals and stuff could be depleting you of certain things that you may have to figure out. But that does not mean go back to the food that is not for humans. And I mean, we'll probably do a video at some point this year because I'm digging into the history of wheat, how it got here. Holy shit. It's pretty creepy. It's pretty creepy. And I don't think it was a good thing ever.
I think also in terms of the food as well, we also got to pay attention that the US and Canada's food compared to Europe as well is slightly different. It's still, obviously, Europe has got its own food issues. But when you look at like recipes or ingredients, it is definitely a lot more lean way for what they've been doing over there compared to Europe. And the food ingredients are sometimes twice the length.
Yeah.
In different countries, there's obviously different agendas and different issues in terms of food and what they can do and can't do. So That's why you see some people will say they'll have bread in Europe and they feel good. Then they'll go have bread in the US and they like feel absolutely shit.
Yeah.
So
I see it up close and personal, Byron, because I was in the shops. I couldn't believe the amount of ingredients and even the color of the orange, like Fanta. Like Fanta in this country, Byron, you'll know it's quite light, but when you go to America, it's really dark orange. Like you can clearly see there's a shitload of ingredients in this drink. You can see it. It's just really, really dark orange, and it's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And I couldn't get over it. I was honestly, I was in Walmart and I was spending more time just looking at the ingredients. I couldn't get over it.
Well,
I just honestly, I was walking around the shops and I just had to look at each ingredient and each one. I was like, holy shit.
And there was a couple of things in our pre-show there that kind of brought that kind of stuff to my attention. Like, you mean to tell me you're going to manufacture something and tell me that it's better than an egg? You're trying to make an egg and you're trying to tell me that it's better with manufactured chemicals to get the right texture, the right smell, the right taste, the right shelf life.
Yeah.
What the sorry, man. Like that.
But I was been told the protein bar is just as good as eating an egg. That's what I was told off a fitness professional this week.
Jesus.
A protein bar is just as good as eating an egg. It's unbelievable. This is coming from a fitness professional.
When you got fitness professionals telling you crap like that, and they hitting the stuff back and they're telling clients to do that and whatever, you really got to think, okay, well, what have they learned? What do they actually understand or know in terms of the stuff you're putting into your body and how your body's absorbing it? Like, or where did they get where did they read this information or get to know it from in the first place? Like,
that's the problem is when, and this goes into, like, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on here. When they decided to give us more information about energy, calories, and ingredient lists and nutrition facts, it was to trick the fact that we all assume it's the same. That protein in that granola bar is the same as that protein in the steak, is the same as the protein in the egg, which it is not. And that's where I think they bombard us with this bullshit. And I learned this in nutrition school, man, where it was completely hypocritical. They would say that you need 9 essential amino acids. Okay. But then they would tell you the complete protein that comes with them all, you should moderate it and you should eat more of the non-essential stuff with the incomplete protein and combine it for a bet. How is that better? Like, why don't you, or they say fish is better than red meat. And I did a little thought experiment this holidays. I'm like, okay, so if you live by the ocean and you eat a lot of fish because it's what Earth is providing you, the nutrients in the fish are going to be very similar to the nutrients in beef. Maybe a couple of the essentials a little higher, a little lower. But why is red meat going to cause cancer? What's in there? Oh no, it's how you cook it. Oh no, it's what happened. That doesn't make sense at all. It falls flat on its face. You know what I mean? Nutrition is nutrition. And I think that's where they trick us, Byron, is they put up all this bullshit to make us think that it's all created equal. It's not. It's clear.
Well, that's exactly that. That's the propaganda that they put out there and pump so much of it, is that a protein is a protein and a calorie is a calorie, and it's all about the calories in and calories out.
Yeah.
And as we know from other people, you can eat more calories than when someone says, oh, you should be having 2,500 calories to lose weight, or maybe 1,800 calories, but you're eating 3,500 and you're still losing belt size and you're still putting on some lean muscle. You're like, well, clearly that is not the way the body operates. And clearly you don't understand the food dynamics and exactly what's working, because you keep putting all this other crap out there. But when they come with the same, like you also recently as well, I don't know if you've seen, but some people have been on there saying, this is 300 calories and this is 300 calories. And you look at it and you're saying, well, are you going to eat that? You're telling me that's exactly the same as that? No, it's not.
Yeah. And even nutrient density, right? Like when someone's eating nutrients, what are you eating it with? And what is your body doing to use those nutrients? If you are taxing your nervous system and super stressed out, your requirements for nutrients are going to be different. They're going to be either more, or you need more bioavailable nutrients. So all this bullshit, and then you can just, it sort of traces back to wheat. Look at what they're spraying artificial B vitamins, niacin and riboflavin, and folic acid is a big one on and they're telling you, enriching the flour with this shit, telling you that this is what you need. How is that better than the real thing? How is that better than a steak? Bullshit.
And just going back to the calorie model, what you were saying about Byron, how come so many people can go on a carnivore diet and easily undereat? Easily, they can easily eat, say, a half a pound of meat every single day, and they'll be full. They don't need to eat any more. But if you ask the average person to do that on the average diet, they would starve.
I'm starving. Yeah.
And they would starve very, very quickly. Very quickly.
And they also don't understand some of them, I'm eating too little. I'm eating too little. And when the guys talk about you eating too little and you need to eat more to not detriment your body and all that, that's once your body's adapted. You start to I know also in the beginning it was like you're eating and you're not eating that much because you feel full. And it's like, okay, there's no need to eat it more. But once your body's adapted and has been like that for a long time, you start to realize, okay, I need to eat more now. My body's
100%,
gone through it. It's gone through the stage, and now it knows what's the correct fuel, and it needs to use more in order for its daily expenditure. And you start to eat more. And now all of a sudden, where eating one steak used to be satisfying, now you're like, okay, I can eat 3 steaks and I'm satisfied.
It's funny. Fleur was away on a women's retreat this weekend, and I was kind of like, my first meal, I was all discombobulated because usually I make or we cook for 2 of us. And I was like, I'll just eat this much. And then I was like sitting here, it was 11 o'clock at night. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm like, I want a steak. I want a steak right now. I'm like, let's go. And it was so funny because like, I'm just like, just a little bit off kilter. But I don't ever worry about that because I have friends and the words that come out of their mouth usually are, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Oh my God, I don't know if I can do another thing until I eat. We need to eat right now. I don't think those words have come out of my mouth in 4+ years, like ever. You know, no matter what I'm doing during the day, oh my God, I got to eat right now does not compute with me. It's like, we're good. We'll fast. Also, it's wild.
And also, I know, like, if I sit and I say, okay, I'm feeling a bit hungry or I want something, I know I haven't had enough fat.
Yes.
And then I'll just go, because we got a glass jar or big box in the fridge, and we cut up blocks of butter and we just put them in there like small pieces. They look like cheese, cuts of blocks of cheese.
Yeah.
And then if you're feeling a bit hungry or anything like that, or feeling a bit peckish, I know, okay, I haven't had enough fat, then I'll just go grab 1 or 2 blocks out of there, eat it. Yeah. It's like, okay, there, now I'm satisfied.
Well, I'll give you a story. We went to a restaurant. I can't remember what the name it was, but on the menu, I had 12-ounce steak. Now, I don't know what a 12-ounce steak looks like, but in my head, I was thinking, that's going to be way too small. So I asked him, I asked your man, I said, listen, just bring me out 3 steaks. He said, do you want anything else? And I said, no, I don't want anything else. Just bring me out 3 steaks. I'm not even joking. The steaks are about that size, and I must have finished it in 20 minutes. The whole thing.
Yeah.
And honest to God, no word of a lie, she'll tell you, I was still hungry after. And this was after 3 big, this was ribeye steaks with a lot of fat on it. And this was after like 20,000 steps that I'd done in the park. I was like, listen, just bring me out 3 steaks. And no word of a lie, I had to order another one.
Yeah.
I was still hungry. And when I went back to the room, I had a lot, because I bought a lot of sardines while I was in Walmart. And I was eating them like nonstop. I was eating 1 or 2 tins of these a day. Honestly, the amount of food that I was eating on a daily basis was unbelievable. And everybody keeps on saying to me, there's no way you're 5'3" and you're putting away around 3,500, 4,000 calories a day. And I'm like, listen, you have no idea what I can put away. I can easily put away this food very, very easy. And like what Byron says, when your body adapts and you put on muscle mass and you get stronger over time, and you do it the right way, you do like a reverse diet, you can easily put away this food easily. Because if you had spoke to me 5 years ago, I would have struggled to eat, say, a 12-ounce ribeye. I can put away 3 of them now.
You know what? Well, I used to work at the Keg. It's a steakhouse. It's like an original OG steakhouse in North America. Okay, so I used to look at a 12-ounce New York, we'll say, or a 12-ounce prime rib and be like, that's huge. Like a special occasion, muscle through it, maybe eat half the baked potato. And then they had this thing. It was called the Kega Mega Prime Rib. It was 24 ounces. I probably could eat 3 of them now. Like,
yeah.
It's not even, it's unbelievable. And I mean, even Fleur's noticed me. She's like, we're cutting our steaks a lot bigger these days. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's better than cutting 2. So I just cook it. And we eat pretty rare, pretty, close to raw. So it just, it makes sense. But it's funny how that happens, because I used to look at these giant pieces of meat being like, oh, I'm so excited to try and eat it. Now I'm like you, Mark, man, bring it. I mean,
yeah.
I haven't been to an all-you-can-eat meat buffet probably since I've been carnivore, but it's kind of funny. When I do this, I would have been there all the time. But now, like, with our economy, it's kind of probably isn't cost effective for all these things.
And isn't it amazing when you put away that amount of food?
You're fine.
Within a half an hour, you're ready to go again.
Yeah.
There's no crashes. There's no energy crashes. Like I was ready to go. I was ready to get up.
Man.
No, you just get up and you're ready to go and you're ready to move around again and you just feel great. And the next day you feel even better. You've got this new lease of energy and you're ready to smash it in the gym. You're just literally ready to go.
I literally had like 5%. I had like a 5% of like, because before I became carnivore, I used to enjoy like a potato bake with some cheese on it, all that. And you just have like 1 spoon of that on your plate. And then that night you feel like you about to pop. Like your stomach's about to burn. You're like, man, I know why I don't eat this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I was with a couple friends and I was having my steak and they're like, how the hell can you still move after that? And I'm like, I can move right now. They're like, bullshit. I go, I'll do 50 push-ups right now. Halfway through like a 30-ounce of New York. And I get down, they're like, what the hell? And then I get up and I just start eating again. I'm like,
yeah.
I couldn't even do 2. I'm like, yeah, but you can't even do 2. So it's like, it's unbelievable.
But you see that, but that's the thing though. They don't realize as well is that the fullness that they're feeling is not a true fullness, because it's the whole reason why a little bit later they're so hungry and they can go smack it again. It's because they're not getting the right nutrient, but you're putting something that's basically fooling the body as far as I'm concerned to say, okay, you're full. But then why are you hungry a little bit later?
Exactly.
Besides everything else, because your body hasn't got what it really needs. It hasn't got the right nutrients in it. And then it's like, oh man, it's the same as like I remember back in the early days of the fitness industry as well. It's like one way to fool the brain was to have a lot of lettuce. It was like smash a lot of lettuce, so you're not getting much into your body at all, but you're kind of fooling the brain and the body that you fool. And it's all you've done is stuffed a bunch of hay down there, and it's like, okay, now the room's full, but is it really full?
Eat a lot. That's a lot of lettuce, man. Like, you know, and that's
there's a massive difference between being full and being satisfied.
Totally.
We've all been there. We've all eaten the plants. Yes, we were full, but we didn't feel good at all.
And that's a good point, Mark, because you're you're satiated before you're full eating this way. Like it's almost impossible to like, you know, once you get good, like when we talk about it, like we've all been doing this for quite a while. It's a little different than someone just starting out. But I mean, once you get to know yourself, this stuff just becomes like, you know, I'm never hungry and I'm never full. That's pretty much the way it works. You know, I never wake up unless I've had something bad, and that changes things. Like I start looking at things going, oh, I want that. That happens. But I mean, as far as my normal day to day, I wake up, I don't have to eat. I don't really, Fleur and I don't set a meal time. We just, you want to eat? Sure, let's eat. And it's either somewhere between 3 and 9 p.m. Like that's, you know, we don't have necessarily a meal time. It's just dictated to what we're doing. You know, sometimes she'll have a meal first, but.
And then if you're not hungry, it's okay. Well, we don't make supper.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Well, boys, let's. Victoria went to the keg. That's awesome. They have a keg in Phoenix. Yeah, I think the quality's gone downhill. I mean, I don't know how they can. I can't even imagine going to a steakhouse now and spending $75, $80 for a piece of steak this big. Like, I mean, I can't do it. It would not feed me.
You know, you speak about that, and that's exactly that, because we went out just before Christmas as well. Went to a restaurant, and I ordered a ribeye, and that was like their special. And it's when I buy the big meat at home, like a big sirloin piece, and I'll cut my own size steaks. I'm like looking at that, and it was like $60.
Yeah.
Well, actually, $60 for the whole meal later, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm buying a whole piece, and I'm cutting 12 steaks for that price.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't care which side of the financial framework you're on, like that. Those just don't make sense when you're dealing with, when you start eating for nutrition and satiety. That makes, I just can't. I can't do it. I don't want to go to a steakhouse just for the hell of it. Like, nope. I'd rather.
Hence why we only go eat out maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah, and that's funny because I used to eat out every day, and people I eat, and that's something that maybe we should have a talk about, in a future podcast. But even though the beef prices are astronomically ridiculous, I still eat way for less money than all of my friends combined, because my meal is basically a combo at whatever fast food stupidity they're eating. It's ridiculous, So, boys, let's get into this thing. Let's get it. We got the first write that down of the year, Mark. We're gonna be. I'm gonna revamp. Byron and I are gonna work on this. I think my editing skills have gotten a little bit better since we started this, but let's get into it.
These guys are getting richer while you're getting sicker. Write that down. 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 These foods are highly processed, complete garbage, and I can promise you now, I wouldn't even give it to my fucking dog. Write that down.
Well, buddy, has anything changed about those feelings since last year? Is that pretty much bang on? It sounds pretty close.
Still the same. No change.
All right, let's get into this video. Mark sent this to our group chat, and I think it's worth having a chat about.
Covering as well. If you're working out, you're more prone to injuries. It's like leaky gut. Now it got better initially, now it's going to get worse under the stress, chronic stress you're under, because like the glycation aspect is a commonly leveraged argument for why we need to be avoiding fructose and glucose, when in fact it ends up that the keto and carnivore diets are far, far more glycating when you actually look at the data.
Correct.
Yeah. Wow. I
used to be a big, massive fan of hers. Huge. I really was. I'm very, very. I've actually had an interview with Dr. Zara. So I'm very, very disappointed about how this is all coming across, because I was hearing a lot about this last year. A lot of carnivores were coming into my DMs and telling me that we were never always strict animal eaters. We would have went days fasting. Some days we would have went days where we ate nothing but berries. And I get all that. I'm not going to argue any of that. The problem I have is very, very simple. The food back then was nowhere near the food that we're eating right now. That's the difference.
Wow.
It really is that simple. Like, nobody knows what went on, say, 100, 200 years ago when we look at our ancestors. But I can tell you right now, when you look at, all you need to do is just Google this stuff. Look at what a piece of fruit was 100 years ago.
Actually,
compared to what it is now.
Because
it's the same as the wheat. The wheat's not the same.
Yeah,
most foods aren't the same.
1894. Yeah. This is 1894. The U.S. Department of Agriculture. The USDA, 1894. And you know what people were eating? 3,500 calories average, butter, eggs, meat, and they were obviously had some bread in there and stuff.
Yeah.
But that is the proof. There was no obesity then.
No.
I have a hard copy.
There's so much choice in the world now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, the food is not the same as what it was 100 years ago. No. So I don't care what carnivore comes into my DMs and tells me that you can't just tell people that they eat strict animal-based, because this is not what our ancestors did. They might have fasted, or they might have ate berries. Again, I'm not arguing that. I don't understand why everybody has to have this massive fight against each other. Like, I'm not arguing any of that. What I'm saying is very, very simple. that our food system is destroyed.
Is absolutely.
And
It is
it's
not.
it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. This is the reason why in the last 50 years obesity has gone up, type 2 diabetes has gone up.
Yeah.
You cannot keep on convincing me that the food that we're eating at the moment is not the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
No
Wake
doubt.
wake up, wake up. If it works for you, that's fine. I don't give a shit.
But
If it works for you, that's fine.
But Mark, and here's the thing too, is like, where are you starting from? Where's your starting point? Where are you metabolically broken? Are you like severe gut damage? Are you like, and this is the thing, marathon runners are getting type 2 diabetes. Okay. You know, some other athletes are having gut problems and gut issues. So there is something going on, and it's essential nutrients, and then what you tolerate as far as toxins. It's clear that the toxins that you're exposed to from the environment, from your lifestyle, from everywhere, and why not try and mitigate as much damage with that from the bullshit food that you're putting in your mouth? I mean, we can't control it. I mean, Victoria even mentioned in the comments now Canada with this re-milk bullshit. They're making it like, that's for another show because I'm doing a little bit of research into it. But it's what they've done to the food. You're exactly right. They're calling the stuff that's not food. That's the other problem. And
But it's
yeah.
She talks it about clearly, and the problem as well with a lot of the people is that they go straight carnivore, and yes, some of them might feel a bit of symptoms, but that's because your body's getting rid of too much toxins at that time.
Yeah.
And she talks about it clearly as well, where you have to sort of ease off it in a sense.
Yeah.
Like go lower and your body will get rid of it slowly. But to say that eating these things are good for you, I don't understand it. But also at the same time, we know social media, if that's trending now, well, then everybody wants to go onto the trend because they're doing it for the trend and not for the actual truth.
No doubt. And that's the one thing we got to worry, like, you know, it's by the click there. And I mean, I understand, you know, people got to do their thing. I'm trying to do my thing. I understand that. But at the same time, you know, this absolute, anytime they're talking in absolutes, this is what scares me about that video, Mark, is that now the food that heals is the food that causes the damage.
The problems.
Is causing the damage.
And you said that at the start, Tony, when we got on this podcast, like these foods cause the damage in the first place. So you're telling me that when I become healed, I'm allowed to bring these foods back in, the ones that were causing the problems. Like, how does it make sense?
And then you're bringing the foods that healed you that caused the problem later. Like, what the hell is that?
Like, I just can't get my head around it. I just can't.
I mean, imagine an alcoholic sorts himself out.
Yeah.
Don't drink anymore because it's not good for you. It's done damage to you. And then once he's all good, oh no, you can have some of that again.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
It's like everybody's talking now that carbs are essential to the diet.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, hang on a second. I've always said this. They're not essential, but when it comes to a body composition standpoint, yes, we know you can look a certain way, but there's no way in hell you can tell me that carbohydrates are needed to improve your health.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going wrong. We're only focusing on body composition here to look a certain way. And if the diet's not working and you're not losing weight anymore, okay, well, carnivore's the problem, so we need to add the carbohydrates back in. I'm like, no, hang on a second. If the carnivore is not working, all you have to do is just titrate the macros.
Yeah.
And because people don't understand, if you're eating a lot of fats, because I have clients that are doing this, did this in the past, you are going to have problems with insulin resistance.
Yeah.
This is a fact because you're eating too many fats. So if you are struggling to lose weight, which is what I see with most females, I always drop the fats down and I always increase the protein.
Yeah.
And this goes against the carnivore space. The carnivore space tells me that it doesn't matter as long as you're eating carnivore, you're going to lose weight. I'm sorry, that doesn't happen for everybody.
Yeah. Well, when I, you know, like Fleur's a good example of this, actually. 6 months, she didn't lose a pound. But we're trying to heal. She's the endometriosis side of things. It's different. So we generalize fat as metabolism, but we need the fat soluble vitamins and the hormones. So if you're cutting fat in order to, and it's the same thing we talk about all the time, Mark, just for weight loss, and you're sacrificing your neurotransmitters, your hormones, and your balance, you got to figure that out first. That has to heal. And and that's the beautiful thing about the fat. The fat is the nutrients. The energy is what we have to like get in check later. But it's just leveraging your fat ratio that is the key. You know, protein pretty much stays the same-ish, but fat is the nutrients. Like those vitamins that are in those fat-soluble vitamins are so important. And, you know, that's the craziness. When you start doing this shit with the plants that Sally Norton tells us not to eat, it's not only just the oxalates, it's the fact that they're taking up space and blocking you from eating the right things.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And they prevent your body from absorbing the very nutrients that you're supposed to be getting out of them.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, we also, like, when we make, say, egg omelets at times, we'll change it. So there's sometimes we'll make omelets and we'll use 2 whole eggs and then another 6 just egg yolks. And then there's times where we'll do half full eggs and then half just the yolks, and then times where we'll do just full eggs. Like it will adjust at times.
and see, this is where I don't like. This is what I don't like about the carnivore space, because everybody is jumping on this bandwagon when it comes to carnivore that you need to eat this amount of fats. But in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, the most important macronutrient the body needs is protein.
It's the foundation.
That's the foundation.
Yeah.
Your protein is the foundation. Then comes the fats.
And it also,
you know what I mean? So it's not like don't get me wrong. I have a lot of people that would be on high fat. Like, bro, when I'm talking about high fat, if we're going by percentages, we're looking at about maybe around 60% fat and 40% protein. So it's not the difference is not that much. But I think people are moving in the direction that this is just, you need to go on high fat and it's going to automatically fix everything. That's rubbish. You need to still calculate the amount of protein that you take in on a daily basis. So your protein intake will be different to mine, Tony, and then same with yourself, Byron, because your height difference is probably different to mine. But I think protein should be always the foundation. You should get your protein numbers.
Whenever I'm teaching somebody that's fresh out of the blue, like just needs to figure this out, prioritize protein. Number one. Yes. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're under eating protein, you're going to be in trouble. Maybe not today, but later on. You just have to look at frailty and sarcopenia and osteoporosis and all
100%.
All the people in the hospitals and the assisted. Like we had Hal Crowner, which we're going to put on, talking about how he's turning like assisted living elderly people's health around, getting them out of wheelchairs, reversing diabetes, and he focuses on protein. Like that is, they have to eat protein.
And also, Tony, the other thing is people mustn't forget, and I think this is the problem with social media, is that there's one video comes out about something, and then everybody jumps on that social media trend situation. They take it out of perspective. And the issue is they don't realize that everybody's in a different space, and they in their videos as well, they don't put a thing out there saying, guys, you need to still look at where you at and make sure that you're doing what your body's telling you. Don't always, we might be taking in a bit of fruit now, but that's because whatever, where we at in our journey. But if you still haven't healed,
it's different.
Keep the fruit out. Keep staying on track until you are healed.
Yeah.
And those are the type of messages I think that's got to get out. And at the same time, as we know, the big guys behind the scenes that are pushing all these different agendas, in social media, they'll bring out these things, or unless people are paid by somebody or they're getting sponsored by somebody, whatever the case is, they bring out all these different things to have everybody argue against each other, and they take their eyes off the focus of what's going on. And at the end of the day, it's about people's health.
That's what saying. Well said, Byron.
Everybody's in a different position.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, like in the beginning when I first I had a look and I understood, okay, well, that's what they're telling everybody to do when you first start carnivore, and for your first 6 months and for a year, you understand your body can take anything from 3 months to 2 years to heal, or even 3 years to heal, depending on what it is. And that's what people need to realize. But they're looking at things and it's like a drive-through. Oh, I want that overnight. Oh, it hasn't worked in a week. I'm getting off it. And then someone says, oh, yeah, that's not good. Yeah. People have got to stop this quick fix crap.
And this is the reason why carnivore is getting a bad name at the moment, because everybody's getting confused now.
But then everybody's have a look at the people that have been carnivore for over 10 years, for over 15 years, for like almost 20 years, and some that have been over 20 years of carnivore. And have they changed? No. Yes, maybe once in a blue moon, they might have a little bit of this and that, which they say. But in general, their lifestyle is carnivore 95% to 99% of the time. And have they changed? No. Have they done anything different? No. And Anthony Chafee keeps saying the very same thing as well. You'll know if you're doing carnivore right. And that's the part of listening to your body. Your stools will tell you.
Yeah.
And
And Bart K says this all the time. Bart K has said many, many times that he's not a strict carnivore. He likes his glass of wine. He likes to have he likes to drink a little bit of alcohol now and again. Yes, you know what I mean. But that's his choice. But he knows exactly what he needs to do the next day. He knows that it's only a quick release of something that I enjoy, but the next day I'm going to get straight back on it. But when what if you're talking about the Zane Greggs in the world, where you're having carbohydrates every single day, and you're telling the world that this is amazing for your body, and this is going to reduce stress, metabolic stress, and all this bollocks, and I'm like, listen. No, this is a lot of rubbish. Because I don't know if you were listening to his podcast the other day with Dr. Kiltz. This really did you hear that one? Did you hear the podcast?
I was gonna when you commented about it. But
I listened to the first half an hour, and when he said to me that he only did carnivore for 2 weeks and it didn't work for him, that's when I switched off. I was like, listen, this guy's a waster. This guy is a lunatic. Absolute lunatic. I haven't got time to listen to people like that. You cannot come around. You cannot tell people that carnivore is not going to work if you haven't done it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how?
You know what's funny is on New Year's, it just reminded me of this little chat reminded me of something that we did on New Year's. We were going to a sound bath, like crystal bowls and kind of a big meditation breathing sound thing with friends. And we were going to bring some snacks for after the ceremony. So we just got some charcuterie, which I know some good quality salami, some good quality deli meats. I'm all good with that. But I asked Fleur, I was like, ooh, maybe some fermented pickles. Just see if we can get some. And they were these little, like no sugar pickles. I ate probably 5 or 6 little tiny pickles. Instantly, I had some kind of weird thing happening in my chest, and I was like, that's weird. And right there, is it the carnivore? Is it the pickle? No, man, it's just my body telling me something's not good. It's like, it doesn't mean I gotta try pickles again. It's just, but that's the thing. Nobody gives anything enough time, and I'm now at a place where I'm tuned in. Like, I feel pepper. I feel differently when I use pepper. It's, I don't know if it's the opposite.
You talk like that, but how many times you hear people also, okay, they've been carnivore for a long time, whether that 90, 95 or 100% doesn't make a difference. But if they've been pretty strict carnivore, 90+%, and then everybody's like, oh, okay, and they've been like that for a long time, then all of a sudden they have something that the body doesn't agree with, and it's generally either a carb or a veg or something like that. And the oxalates that come out of that cause an issue that your body really, because your body's now healed or in a far better place, it recognizes what poison is as such.
Yeah.
And then you have that now all of a sudden, oh man, I'm feeling it's that carnivore. It's the thing I just put in my body basically made me ill. And now you're trying to blame it on carnivore when I haven't been ill for how long?
Mm-hmm.
There's just no logic. Logic's gone out the window these days.
And I mean,
honestly, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. This is the question I'll always ask these people. Like, why are you adding them in the first place? Like, give me one good reason apart from you're changing the way you look. Give me one good reason why you're adding them back in.
I mean, Michaela Peterson has done that. How many times you've seen her on an interview where she's been grand, and then all of a sudden she decided to have a bit of strawberries or something because she used to enjoy that. And all of a sudden she flares up with a bit of issues, and it's like, oh, so it's your lion diet that makes you sick like that. No. She had something that she used to enjoy.
Yeah.
Put a bit of that in her body, and all of a sudden the body tells her, hey, frick, this ain't working. Now it's the lion diet that causes the issue? No.
The problem is that they know this. They know human beings are bloody resilient. They know that we tolerate things so well. Like, all of a sudden the brain fog becomes normal. That's just getting older. Don't worry about it. That pain, it's just what happens. Arthritis is age. Bullshit. And that those things, as you get better at yourself, you start to see those symptoms or those manifestations of a toxin way differently. I am way more sensitive to shit now. It actually, for a time, I was like, what's going on in my body right now? Holy shit. I feel things so truly. And, you know, if something is off slightly, you know, whether it's my heart rate, whether it's a little pain or a little like a pre-cramp almost, I feel things so much more truly. And that's not done by the stuff that makes me feel good. It's done by the possibilities of the stuff that I'm not. It's simple. You know, my gut is obviously it's way better now than it ever was before. If I do things, it tells me right away, like, nope, this is not good. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I actually do try things experimentally, but I'm always on the aware, like I'm always observing my body, always.
Mm-hmm.
I used to suffer a lot. I used to suffer a lot with cramps, especially at night in the legs and the calves. And even in my first few months of carnivore, I used to still get that, especially like after exercise. If I had exercised that day, or if I was just really busy at work, then that maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, there the leg cramps come knocking on the door. And it's like, man, but I don't get that anymore. And guess what? I don't supplement on magnesium. I don't supplement on, I used to drink like salt water, and I'll still take a bottle of salt water to work with me every now and then, and I'll sip on that. But I might get halfway through it during the day. I don't finish it like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I've reduced my salt intake like quite a lot, and it's obviously to taste, and I'll just have that half. I don't have the leg cramps. I can't remember the last time I had leg cramps anymore. And it's just,
well, dude, Byron, I get pre-cramps. Like I know when my body's dehydrated. I can feel it first.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's just a microsecond of a lag. I can feel, and it's usually in my fingers and my hands. I can feel it. So my water requirement's gone down. I know this. And Victoria mentioned a good thing. I'm going to put it on the screen here. Carnivores become more sensitive, and the first gout attack in 6 years. This is what people don't understand about all the microbiome shit. Not only did she say Sean O'Meara you need fermented foods, which Sarah Myhill, I saw that. It's a sterile gut. A carnivore, a perfect gut is a sterile gut. Mm-hmm. Anyway, what people don't realize as well is the bacteria can lie dormant. So this bacteria that feeds on nastiness, when you eat the nastiness, they wake up. What do you think happens?
Exactly.
It's discomfort, it's pain, it's symptoms right away. And I think that's where, you know, like the reason why our guts are so good is because the bacteria work in harmony, and it's all like that can be like I don't want to go too far down it, but I'm telling you, I used to
drink the same thing. I used to drink like 4 or 5 liters of water a day when I was a trainer. And it's like, even after, okay, I need to drink, because there was a calculation that you were taught according to exercise and this and that, and you use this, and that's how much water you should more or less be drinking. And I mean, there's days where I might not drink water. Then there's days where I'll drink 2 bottles of water, depending on how I feel. I listen. The body tells me, okay, I need to have water. I'll have water throughout the day. Then there's days I might not have, and I still feel absolutely great. I don't feel dehydrated. I don't feel nothing. But as soon as I've obviously lacked a bit of salt in the food, and I obviously haven't had enough of the right nutrients, then my body tells me, oh, okay, but I still don't end up getting the cramps. And I used to have to supplement on freaking like 3 tablets of magnesium a day initially. And when that stopped working, I'm like, okay, well, then there's obviously, I don't need that so much anymore. Stop taking it. The leg cramps disappear because now I'm not throwing the electrolytes way out.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a balance, and it changes as you go, as your body gets more effective at this shit. You have to adjust, and I think that's where people get lost too, or they get freaky. And it's like, I've had people with severe leg cramps, and it's like the more they think about it, as far as salt, potassium, magnesium, they get lost. They're like, well, how much salt? How much? Just, you need the minerals. They need to be in the right balance. You need to figure it out for yourself without going to the point where you're getting gastric distress from the salt you're eating, to the point where the potassium's in. Anyway, that's something.
Sorry, Brian. Go ahead. No, I was just going to mention, Tony, you mentioned a good point earlier on about people as they get older to suffer with sarcopenia and stuff like that. I want to touch on a little bit about insulin, because I think people need to understand this. Insulin itself is not a problem. This is what really frustrates me about the fitness industry. People will say that you need insulin, it's the anabolic hormone, you need this to fuel muscle growth. Yes, you need insulin, you don't need it from carbohydrates. So when we go back to what you guys were talking about, insulin sensitivity and insulin resistance, there's a big difference there. So when insulin becomes chronically elevated, that's when we have a serious problem. So insulin, I've never argued the case that we don't need insulin. Insulin is we need it for the body, but we can get this through the gluconeogenesis, like I mentioned at the very, very beginning. We can get this through protein and fats. Your body can produce everything what your body can get from carbohydrates. So we need to understand this, that no matter what PT tells you this, you can build muscle very, very easily. Okay, you can replenish glycogen in the muscle very, very easily when you become fat adapted.
And the more fat adapted you are, the more effective your body becomes. So
and your cells are going to work so much better. So much better because you're not going to be insulin resistant.
Yeah. When I turned low carb, high fat, when Tim Noakes came out with the whole thing, and I read through his books, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. And it's like, okay, the world was, and you eat that way. I mean, I was like low carb, high fat, keto type lifestyle for like eight years. I put on muscle, I was lean, and I still got stronger. My bench press increased, and I'm like, so where does this thing come that I must have more carbs to get stronger in that? And I'm like, man, and I was at that time, even then I was in my like late 30s. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. I was told carbs make me stronger and make me put on muscle. But at the end of the day, when your body's fat adapted, it's like, it's then you start to question what's been told to you and what you've learned.
And that's the good point, Byron, because that's the one deciding factor I've had with anybody that I've ever helped. All my clients, once they start feeling this shit, you can't argue with them. They will be like, whoa. I don't care what anybody told me. This is how I've just cured my glaucoma. Yeah, try and tell you that you're wrong, right? Like, that's the beautiful thing.
And then when they do it, it's like, why didn't you tell me this earlier? I did. You didn't listen.
And I think that's where we all come to grips with our own sort of way. Once you start getting, and I know probably that's, I know that's why Mark's passionate about this too, is because we all come there to a certain, you get to a certain point, but just going 180 degrees and jumping back all the stuff that causes the damage, especially with Mark being a coach, me being a coach. I know, Byron, you help people. This kind of information sets us back, because when we're trying to help people get to a certain place for themselves, this general information that gets thrown out by people they confide or trust in, or that we've even guided them to, that's what I don't like. Is it's like some of these people I would suggest listening to, or I would send them to, and then all of a sudden, well, they just told me that this is good. It's like, oh my God, now we're battling, and it just I don't think that's the way to go. And
when you mentioned about, sorry, Brian, when you mentioned about coaching, Tony, I think it's important that you go with the person, that who specializes in their field. Yeah. Like you specialize on a particular area. I'm more into health, the same as you, Tony. Yeah. If you're into bodybuilding and having that aesthetic look, then there are people out there that do carnivore, that do implement carbohydrates, and I have no issues with that. If that's from a body composition standpoint, if you want to look a certain way, then there are people that are more qualified than me in that. Like I'll pick one out, for example. Al Reeves is a very, very good friend of mine. Yeah. He has the body. He looks amazing. He's very, very big. He's done bodybuilding competitions. He uses carbohydrates strategically. He doesn't use carbohydrates all the time. He only uses them like once or twice a week, but it works perfectly well for his body. But he's always said,
and he's been working on it for 11 years. He's been tweaking,
So it works perfectly for his body, and he looks amazing. Yeah. He knows that, and the carbohydrates that he eats, I think he's mentioned a few times, it's rice.
Yeah.
So that's the carbohydrate that he eats. So there's no fructose in rice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's getting a good source there.
He's calculated and he's specific about himself. And he even says it. Like, I mean, if anybody wants to know about that, we did an interview with him. It's on our channel. He was saying that, like, everybody's different. So when I'm teaching people this, it's about getting them to a certain point to figure it out for themselves, what works best for them.
Exactly.
This is what I do. some people it'll work for, but and that's what I think we get lost in this stuff is, and I've actually been going up about this pretty hard on my channel lately, is like, people don't take into consideration where you're starting from, what's going on when you're starting. So someone coming in straight off the street that's damaged, broken, depressed is going to be different than someone who's been low carb for a few years and wants to do it. It's always subject, and it's very, very nuanced to the person. And I agree with you, Mark. Find a person that can help, that you resonate with, that and I mean, I've been leaning towards helping ladies in their 60s. It's just, it seems to be that when they're ready to actually get into their health, it's not just a diet plan, and they've tried everything. They've done all these diets, and a lot of them have just been, they've been spinning wheels for 20 years. And then when I explain to them that you don't have to age disgracefully, and all of a sudden it's beautiful when people start figuring it out for themselves.
And when you target the audience that you specialize in, it's very, very easy to coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really is, because I specialize in mental health. I specialize in women's health, but I know this area better than anybody in the world. I just firmly believe that I know this area really, really well, because I've worked with a lot of women, so I know what I'm doing. Now, if I had changed all that and went into bodybuilding, I'd have to learn over time, but I wouldn't know it as better as like I mentioned about Al. Like, Al would know a lot more than this than I would. So if anybody came to me and said, listen, I want to be a bodybuilder, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm talking about, but this guy is going to be a better fit for you. This guy is actually going to get you to the next level.
But that's the thing. If you want to become a bodybuilder and you want to do something, look, we even know the other keto coach as well. He was a bodybuilder and freaking did well just living keto.
Rob Sykes.
Robert Sykes. Yeah.
And look, there's different guys that work well with those type of things. And at the end of the day, people have got to remember performance athletes and their diet and what they need in terms of nutrition is not the same as someone that's not doing performance. A normal everyday person is not going to be the same as a bodybuilder, or the same as a sprinting or a swimmer or a rugby player that needs to consume like 10,000 calories as opposed to a normal everyday person that only needs to consume maybe 2,500, 3,000 calories a day. There's like a big difference. And when people look at performance people and say, oh, okay, that's what I've got to do. Well, are you performance?
Yeah.
No. Well, then turn that off straight away and focus on something else.
Good point. Yeah.
I used to have an issue when trainers would give somebody a bodybuilding program or going to the gym, and I'm like, the person's a middle age, and what did they ask you? They obviously just want to get a bit stronger and they want to have a better quality of life, and that. Do they need bodybuilding? No, they're not a bodybuilder. They're not you've got to. There's certain exercises obviously that are all right, but in terms of them having a better quality of life, I mean, you just go look up a thing called functional patterns.
Yeah,
absolutely. That guy also stirred up a lot of rubbish in the industry as well, because at the end of the day, bodies were being healed and sorted out by training the body for what it needs and what it requires.
100%. And I think it's important as well that as you get older, your training has to adapt.
For sure. And Mark, hold that point right there, because I think next week we were planning on doing a little January training sort of podcast, but like this nonsense came up with so we kind of got railroaded. But now Peter's back. Byron, if you want to come back next week and hang out too, that'd be awesome. But Peter's back. Let's talk about, because his training's different than your training, and I think that's a really good point about and your experience in this about how people they're all going to go to the gym now, like as of Monday, probably the busiest day of the year at the gym tomorrow. Yeah, and then by March, they'll be all asking you for help. So I think next week, let's leave it there, boys, today. And next week, let's talk, Mark, let's get into some training. So if we can talk about it, maybe send me some things. We can get into it. Byron, come back and join us because you're part of it. And Peter will be back. And I know he's got some things to say because he was kind of getting attacked as well this week.
Yeah.
Nobody attacks Peter. Not on our watch. So anyway, boys, it's been a pleasure. Byron, where can people find you? And any last words, my friend?
Yeah, well, I'm on TikTok still. TikTok Carnivore Beats and YouTube Carnivore Beats YT, and obviously now recently have launched on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music, and all the other platforms in the background. So every week there'll be new songs releasing on there. And that's it. And then the final words is just, 2026. There's a lot of other elements that are fighting against our health, not just nutrition. And for me, the goal should be give your body the best chance it has to stay healthy. And that's feeding it the best nutrition that makes you feel good, makes you feel better, makes you have a clear mind, and helps you enjoy life a lot better than if you're feeling sick and feeling foggy and groggy and all the pains and aches in the joints. Then you need to do something about it.
Well said, buddy. Well said. Mark, my friend.
Yeah, I'll let you exactly what Byron said. You just gotta look after your body. You get one shot in life. Do it the right way. Nobody's forcing anybody to eat this way, but unless you've tried it for a couple of months, not just a few weeks, you'll never understand what we're talking about. It'll literally change your life, and it should never be about looking a certain way. You will look incredible eventually, but you should take your health seriously first, because that's where everybody's struggling at the moment. Everybody's getting in shape, but they're still struggling with their mental health. They're still struggling with their health, and they're absolutely convinced that they just need to go to the gym, burn themselves out, be on a shitty diet, and their health is going to improve. No, we need to get away from that. We need to get back to nature. We need to get back to reality. We need to start looking at food and say, right, food is not for entertainment, not anymore. It's just to fuel your body. That's it. Yeah. Simple as that. And let's just see what happens. And you'll be amazed what can happen in 3 months.
Nice.
Amazed. So
100%.
Yeah, just go back to the stand, go back to the way we should be eating. I'm not saying that you should eliminate absolutely everything. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. I would say do it in phases. Remove the processed food, then maybe remove the carbohydrates. Then if you're still having gut issues, autoimmune issues, remove the fiber, remove the plants, and let's just see what happens. Yeah. At the end of the day, you are your own experiment. Don't let anybody else tell you differently. Yeah. You are your experiment. Forget about the studies. Yeah. You are the study.
Yep, exactly. And I've won. Well said. Where do people find you, Mark?
You can find me on Fitness Beyond Time 01. I can tell you right now, the batteries are charged. You'll be seeing a lot more of me on social media. I'm ready to go again. If you guys want to reach out to me or send me an email, you can send me an email at nsmark93@gmail.com.
And before I say my little final thoughts, I just want to mention Mark and Victoria's Carnivore Evolution. We're coming in hot this year, boys. We're going to do some things together. They're live on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course on YouTube. So make sure you go over there and see their work that they do. They've been doing some good things, and I'm excited to have Victoria part of all this and be part of your guys' stuff. And I think that is important, especially now more than ever, supporting each other. Thanks to all the chats today. Thanks, guys, for showing up. We love you. We appreciate you. And also the carnivore community worldwide. I think it's time we bond together. And Mark and Byron, we talked about this before. Let's not be so argumentative. Let's just act like humans, love each other, eat the best you can, and do what you can to stay healthy in this world. Because as Byron said, I believe there's another side of me that has my tinfoil hat antenna going all the time, and I don't think they're on our side. I don't want to get too far into it, but now is the time to get as healthy as you can and understand that whatever comes down the pipe, you have the best chance to deal with, because your brain is working, your body is working. And that's what I do. If you want to help, reach out to me, go to TonyStewartCoaching.com. I do have a newsletter if anybody wants to sign up. I have a challenge starting January 15th because we're doing it again for after New Year's. You can go there, find me on my website. And we do this every Sunday. We are the Meat of the Matter podcast. Thanks for being here. Thank you guys for all chiming in. And Peter will be back next week. We're going to find out what that mother eats. And we'll do this all again next week, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in Europe. And happy 2026, everybody. Stay healthy.
Let's go.
Thanks.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Else is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps.